Hello and welcome to another edition of What's Out There. I am your host, Robinson Edward Daring. Join us as we bring you new ideas, new truths, and news you can use. In this edition, we discuss the infrared biobelt with Dr. Jeff Behr and Jocelyne Colombe. All right, folks, welcome back to another show. This, of course, is your host, Robinson Edward Daring, back again for another episode. Um, Today we are revisiting with some, I don't want to say old guests because that sounds derogatory, some former guests, Dr. Jeff Behr and Jocelyne Colombe. Now, you may remember Jeff and Jocelyne from one of our original shows when we first started. They were talking about the universal biomat. And of course, we also talked with Jeff about the effect of electromagnetic fields on planet Earth. Now, let me give you a little background on both of our guests. Dr. Jeff Behr has a PhD in metaphysics and undergraduate degrees in anthropology and religion. He obtained spontaneous healing gifts in the early 80s and became able to assist people in clearing their own stuck emotions and energies. He has studied alternative health for over 20 years and applied it to his own life as well as the lives of others with great success. And Jocelyne Colombe experienced a near-death experience as a child. This led her into the healing field as a nurse practitioner for 2 decades. She then studied a variety of healing modalities and has been an energy medicine consultant for nearly 20 years. She is bridging the physical and esoteric through vibrational medicine tools such as sound healing, the biomat, and the subject of our show today, the infrared biobelt. Jeff, Jocelyne, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, hi, Robinson. Yeah, it's great to be here.
I know you guys just finished digging out from like a ton of snow up there in Colorado, so just thank you for not being too tired from doing that.
We have our biomat.
Well, it's been a banner year. I know it's been a banner year for snow in your state down there, and I hope it has nothing to do with that electromagnetic field. Okay, on to business. Now, last time I said you were with us, you were talking about together. You were talking about the universal biomat, but today we have the infrared biobelt. Tell us a little bit about that.
The biobelt was introduced to the market in April of 2012, so it's a recently added device, and its focus is to help people in weight loss, weight management, and reprogramming their belly so that the gut can function better. Also, when you turn the belt over to the back, it helps significantly with back aches and also in resetting the adrenal glands, which are, back there above the kidneys. Essentially, in a nutshell, that's what it does.
Now, some folks may know this product from Japan, where it was called the Poka Poka belt, right? The Poka Poka jewelry belt, I should mention there.
Right.
But for purposes of not making our audience laugh, I will refer to it as the infrared bio belt. Now, on a side note, for those who are listening, I do have to explain that this product is the infrared biobelt. There are some other products out there using biobelt, one for concealed carry, and for those who are, for all intents and purposes, nerds may recognize it as the belt that Ray Palmer uses when it becomes the Atom in the DC Comics. This is not them. Now, biobelt. Now you say infrared. So what exactly do you mean by infrared? Is it infrared ray, infrared beam, infrared laser?
Exactly. It's all, in the sense, the infrared ray is a natural part of sunlight. It's that component of the warmth that you feel against your skin. And so it's using the belt to actually generate the light wave. You can't see it because it's outside of our visible spectrum, but it creates that light wave, and then the light actually goes through those crystals. So far infrared rays are a form of helping the blood system in the body.
Okay, so this is natural. This is sunlight going through like crystals and jewels and stones in the belt. It's not actual giant piece of equipment that's generating like a laser beam, right?
Right. It's not a laser beam, but it looks like a fabric if you were to actually see the material that it looks like a screen you would see on your window. And what that does is it generates that light wave, and then that light wave actually goes through the crystals. And the crystals are like a magnifying glass that actually amplify that wave that makes it more bioavailable and more useful to the body.
Now, when we were talking about the universal biomat, you explained that the biomat itself is composed of 11 layers of material. For our listeners, the biobelt is also composed of, I believe, these same 11 layers. So if you can quickly tell us what these layers are and what the benefit of these layers are, it might help them understand it better.
Okay, actually there's 17 layers.
17 layers.
Some of the outer layers are things like, a cotton. There's some protective layers in there. There's also some insulation layers. But, for the most part, there's going to be a couple of fibers in there. One of the fibers or fabrics is going to release negative ions, which is a charged particle that works like an antioxidant for the body. And then another layer is going to release the far-infrared ray energy to people. Everything else is going to be, like an aluminum or a waterproofing layer, copper texture, stuff like that actually allow the belt to do its job or protect it.
Oh, it's good to know. I always like to know what's in the material that I wear or that I use on an everyday basis. And then for the folks who are listening, I do need to give the give the website that they can find out some more information. I believe it's the www.infrared, that's INFRARED, biobelt.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And for those I mentioned, Universal Biomat, that is at www.universalbiomat.com. Now the belt, I see that the belt has won approval from several groups, including the Food and Drug Administration, the Korean Food and Drug Administration, the Japanese Electric Safety Authority, and the Better Business Bureau. What was involved with, getting the okay from these groups?
It's actually a really lengthy process. In some ways, the same way it is like getting something passed through the FDA in this country. So if you can imagine, there has to be a lot of testing that goes on. They have to provide that testing information to that local authority, and then they have to either approve it or disapprove it. Did it really, do what it said it was going to do, or did it not? Also, we have underwriters laboratories in this country along those lines, where they say, yeah, this is a safe product. Yes, it does what they claim that it does.
So
and
this is.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is obviously just like the biomat is safe for people to use. This is safe for people to wear because the difference obviously with the biomat, you actually just laying down on it. This time though, you have it wrapped around yourself, and so it's been proven safe.
Right. So the belt is actually used for, let's say, at your desk or when you're watching television or someplace where you're not, or maybe even driving in your own car, where you're not laying down like you would be with the biomat, but in this case you can still be affecting, say, your gut or your lower back or sometimes some of your internal organs. For those people who have a busier lifestyle, well, maybe their focus is more about weight loss.
Well, it's true. When we talked about the biomat, one of the questions that I was been hitting myself in the head for not asking was, what do people do when they're not home? You have it on your bed, you lay down, you use it, but then you disappear to work for like 8 hours, and maybe you get some errands to run, so you might be away from that thing for 10 hours. And
and it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Out of a 24-hour period, the body needs at least 8 hours away from the biomass so that the organs and all the systems within the body can assimilate the detoxification that has taken place. So the biomat is not to be used all the time. Even someone who has chronic condition, where they're in bed all the time, the advice is to be off the mat at least 8 hours. And then when it's used, even when you sleep at night, it does a lot of good for your body. So, there's nothing to be concerned about if you're away from your mat during the day. Now, the infrared...
Okay, I'm sorry, Jocelyne. I'm going to have to cut. We can continue this after we'll come up on our first break. So when we come back, we are talking with Dr. Jeff Behr and Jocelyne Colombe about the benefits of the infrared biobelt. We'll be back after this break.